Hi, I'm Liz Hoke, and I'm presenting on the human right of copyright. Did you know that copyright has a limited amount of time that the item produced is placed under copyright? The production of an item has between 50 to 100 years after the author's death that it is still considered under copyright. The infringement of copyright can result in large amounts of money. The amounts depend on if the violation was intentional or not. Most scenarios conclude from $750 to over $150,000. What is copyright? Copyright is the protection of any production through literature, film, art, and etc. conducted by an author so that no other human can copy or take the idea of another. In other words, after a piece of work has been published by an author or producer, no one else can take the idea and call it theirs. An example, once an artist has produced a song, no other person can take the music or lyrics and say that they created it, or use a song in a video without the approval, documents from original producer, and legal time and laws. And below you might notice the two far ones on the left. The first one on the left is probably seen in most movies before they actually start, and the one in the middle is what is seen in books. The history of copyright. In 1710, the first copyright was placed into action, the Statute of Anne. Congress later passed a law very similar to the Statute of Anne for the Americans in 1790. So this would be the first copyright law for the Americans. With the statute, if the author were still living at the end of the initial 14-year term of copyright, they would receive another term for another 14 years. So at this time, basically the authors were only given 14 years placed under copyright, but now it is granted 50 to 100 years after the author's death. Statistics of copyright. 83.2% of copyright offenders were U.S. citizens. An average age of people at sentencing was 41. 51.6% of those accused of copyright infringement were imprisoned with an average term of 21 months. 88.4% of infringement cases concluded amounts of $1 million or less. 55.8% of infringement cases involved amounts $120,000 or less. And to the right is the median infringement amount for copyright offenders from 2011 to 2015. More history of copyright. Major revisions were given to the Copyright Act in 1831, 1870, 1909, and 1976. In 2016, Justin Bieber was sued for alleged copyright infringement for his song Sorry by Casey Donnell, which most people are very familiar with this song. Also, in 2016, Bruno Mars and Mark Ronson were sued for copyright infringement of Uptown Funk under multiple different legal cases. So they actually had to go to court multiple times for this. More statistics of copyright. In 2015, over 71,000 cases were reported to the United States Sentencing Commission. Of those above, 95 involved criminal infringement of copyright. In 2020, 21,882 applications were filed for copyright registrations. Copyright supporters. Supporters of human copyright include Motion Picture Association of America, United States Chamber of Commerce, and many other marketers. Business Software Alliance, Canadian Alliance Against Software Theft, Entertainment Software Association, Federation Against Copyright Theft are all anti-copyright infringement organizations. So all these organizations believe and speak out that copyright infringement is basically that copyright is wrong. As companies, their job is to make sure that every production is protected through the copyright laws. Credits. Thank you.